Welcome everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Peeze, Della, Reeze. I don't like tents.
What?
I don't like camping.
Why not?
Me neither.
It's dumb. Like, if I'm gonna look up at the stars, it better be 5 stars in the lobby of my hotel.
Bro, so what about fishing though?
Yeah, I fish and then I go to my 5-star hotel.
I wouldn't mind glamping. It's like camping, but the hotel version.
Yeah, like where.
How does that work?
Well, what happens is
You rent a tent, but it's pretty.
yeah, and then but by tent he means the DoubleTree Hotel on Lexington Avenue, New York.
So like not even like the motel in the motel. Like
Motel.
La Frontière.
Motel.
Yeah, motel.
Motel. Let's put it this way: the last time I stayed in a motel was another life, and it only happened in reincarnation because who the fuck stays in a motel?
I mean, there's a pros and cons for motels. You get your own toaster.
Toaster? They have toasters? I would not eat in a motel.
But that's why there's the motel. The difference of hotel and motel is not just because it's flat. It's because you get your own like little kitchen thing.
Also, you can rent it by the hour.
Okay, so also
I'm pretty sure you can rent hotels by the hour too.
I don't know.
I wouldn't call it a hotel then.
I think
What's up, Ritz? What's up, Ritz Carlton?
So I also think Simo's never been in a hotel now, because like when I went to a hotel, there's also a kitchen because that's all suites have kitchens. And
Okay, there. But
just say, if you're gonna travel, come on, save some money.
I mean, you go to Toronto, bro.
Yeah. Where do you think I stay?
The motel.
I don't. I really don't. Who are you?
I'm Simon. Apparently, I'm the only one here who likes motels.
You learn something new every day on Calling the Audible. Who likes tents? Who likes motels?
I like tents too. I like camping. I'm a big
Eagle,
camper.
what's your name and introduce yourself?
My name is Eagle, and I'm watching too many virtual sports.
What's a virtual sport?
Esport.
I mean, you knew the answer to this. You sort of.
He just
prepped
wanted to
yourself.
tee it up. The reaction was cued.
It's the show, dude.
It was planned
We play characters.
17 hours ago. He's
We
like,
play characters on the show, Simon.
you were here yesterday.
You've
told
been on
Eagle-
the show for 5 years. How do you not know?
You told Eagle tomorrow we're gonna make this joke.
Yes. I wrote it in my diary. I had a very funny joke today. Division 6. What's up, people?
You
This
have
is
a
called the
diary.
Audible.
That's my final thoughts for today.
Yeah.
I learned that you have a diary.
Yeah.
I will find a way to get Natalia to take screenshots and send to
You
me.
don't want to see the screenshots
I do.
because I like myself and there's a lot of pictures in there. What'd you catch in Div 6 and 60?
That was funny. We'll start with we'll get it out of the way. We'll talk about it. We'll get it out of the way. Oddsaw Sports won yesterday. We'll just get it
Big
out.
game.
Yes.
Recap coming in Marc-André Delaunay's article.
Okay. So I just wanted to get it out of the way. You guys beat Unknown Talent.
It's a fun game. Honestly, like both ways.
As much as I hate you.
Mm-hmm. I hate you too.
No, that's it. There's no compliment.
That's cool.
No.
That's cool.
Honestly, I didn't think you guys would beat Unknown Talent. Even though like you could plan for it or whatever. I just think that Unknown Talent is the better team of the two. I guess I was wrong.
I mean, it's honestly, I think there's an upper echelon in Div 6 where all the teams are pretty evenly matched. Like, so yes, Alessandro Berrettoni is a far better athlete, far better quarterback than I am. But I have Hot Sauce Sports is a good team, as our Warriors, as our Dirty Laundry. Like, there's a top 5 or 6,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. They're starting to separate themselves from the pack. Vic in the Box too.
Yep.
So and like all these teams are there's missing something. So like Unknown Talent is missing, veteran experience. Hot Sauce Sports is missing a quarterback. Vic in the Box, the quarterback is an experience. Dirty Laundry is a good team, but thin. It's thin. It's not like a girthy roster. So that's my take on sort of like the top 6 are like what they do well. They do much better than everyone else, but each of the teams has like a weakness that keep them in Div 6 basically.
Fat Diablos beat Scranton Scramblers.
Mm-hmm. That's surprising.
It's surprising.
But look who's quarterback.
But yeah, that's the thing.
That changes everything, right? Because so
you switch away from the quarterback who's been struggling the entire season to put in a guy who
it's temporary though. It's 1 week.
To put in a guy who's average in Div 6. Right? Like,
Well, but he's been a competent Div 5 quarterback before.
he's played in Division 6 before. Alexandre Gertin. He's played in Division 6 before. He's played in Division 5 before. He's not the kind of quarterback that's going to go 10-0, 9-1. He usually sits around that 5-5 mark, right?
Yeah.
So he's good enough to get you into the playoffs. He's good enough to keep the team competitive on a weekly basis. He's not a superstar.
Mm.
Right, like even in the setup in Division 6, he's not a superstar. This team is far and away better with him as a quarterback.
Mm.
Like there's no,
But again, as far as I know,
and he also fits the scheme of Fat Diablos.
yeah.
Because let's be honest,
I mean, we can say that,
he's a big
right?
guy.
Like you and I can say
no,
that.
of course,
Eagle can't say that.
no,
Mo can't say that.
No.
But yeah, he's fat. We're fat. Being fat's amazing.
yeah.
People have
He's
lower
a big
expectations,
dude, man.
and you get to eat some awesome shit. And he went to Philos on snapper a bunch, and you know when quarterbacks were snappers because their snappers put up numbers.
Also, Fido Sainz is a very good player.
Yeah, very good.
Like
He's the best player on the team.
He's the only also like the non-fat guy.
Yeah,
But
wrong team.
So it's like cheating because
Yeah.
he's skinny and fat. And
So
skinny
like
and
Phil,
fast.
you need to drink some gravy.
Or switch teams.
Nah, drink gravy. It's more
Drink
drinking gravy is
gravy.
more fun.
I'm not sure it's fun,
Get those little like shots of like KFC
bro. Drinking
gravy.
I feel like this is a punishment and not an enjoyable thing.
Table of
Only
terror.
because you're not fat.
Also, if you drink gravy,
Yes,
after how many
gravies.
gulps
Yeah.
do you stop breathing? Like you could just feel your artère.
What's interesting is, so for like a guy my size, I actually don't eat that much. I'm just horribly fat for no reason. But like I feel like for me, I would take one gulp and just my heart would seize.
I mean,
Whereas
it's
like some
gravy.
dudes would take like 10 cups and be like, no problem.
like
Like
skinny dudes.
Chapman take hammer 10 cups. Former producer of Calling the Audible.
The better version of Eagle.
Better producer of Calling the
The
Audible.
better.
But the thing is with Scranton Stranglers though, that's it. Like having lost this game, the only they beat Zone 6 Ballers, right?
Yep.
They beat Green Monster, who've been struggling horribly.
Yep.
They beat Dog Pound. Okay, fine. That's a good win.
Yep.
But the only like experienced, legit quarterback they've beaten so far, or they played against so far, was Vince Pisano, and Vince Pisano and Pension Plan beat them 25-19.
Yep.
So like Scranton Stranglers may be a product a little bit of their schedule, which looking at it's not like so. The next two games are Sharknado 7th rounders or
wins.
fine up and coming teams, but not strong. Then Unknown Talent, which they likely will lose, and then NWO, which is a toss up. So like they may have like
Speaking of toss-up,
yes,
we have some later in the show.
yeah. Well, not in this division.
Oh no.
There's none for Div 6.
Mokan.
I've
Such
heard.
a disappointment.
I know.
But I
Mokan's
agree
not
with
here
you.
also.
But then again, this one thing about like strength of schedules in Division 6 is, to me, Division 6, 6D, it's difficult to assume because you don't know.
Well, like at this point, I feel like we can evaluate it.
A little bit, but then again, like it's easy to say Scranton Stranders are a product of their schedule, but they could also be having a few bad nights or a few good nights. That
Yeah. Well,
sort of
either way, 10
defines,
weeks is a
right?
small sample size.
because 10 weeks is small samples. At the end of the day, maybe they had an off night against Pension Plan. They have a few drops that didn't go their way, and they could have won that game, flipped the script, and they could have lost. You know, they could lose a game against 7 rounders in a game that you expect them to win, just because we missed a few plays here, a call didn't go our way. We've all seen it before where the quarterback gets hit, the ball wobbles out of his hands for an interception, and there's no flags.
To be fair, the ball always wobbles out of my hand. Hurricane season, speaking of hard schedules.
Yep.
They beat Vic in a box.
Which is
32-19. That's a good win.
which would not have surprised me week 2.
Yeah.
Surprises me now.
Well, the thing is, they don't have someone who's a natural quarterback, kind of similar to Vic in a box, and they have a great defensive team.
Yep.
Kind of similar to Vic in a box. But Bradley Perron's learning. And I was talking to Daniel Pizzatore after the game, and he's like, you know what? Like, it's stupid that they only have 2 wins. Because and the thing is, we've been saying this too, is like they're only going to win 2 or 3 games,
Yep.
but they're probably one of the best teams in the division.
Yes.
And just because the division's tough this season, and they have the worst schedule.
If I were to tell you that Vic in a Box had Matt Bura and Craig Browning on offense and only combined for 5 receptions and 45 yards all game, no touchdowns,
Yeah.
you have to give credit to the Hurricane season defense for that. Like, it's incredible to see what those guys have been able to do, either one or the other or both in a single game, and to not only keep them off the scoreboard but also keep their yardage and everything so low is really impressive.
But that's Hurricane season though. Like they're very good at. They have that top end talent. They have one or two guys that are very very good that could play.
Well, on defense,
man
like
to
I
man.
was gonna say, like if you read the defense, like top to bottom, Ryan McGrath, Endell Thomas Gordon, Stefano Spagnuolo, Brandon Perron, Bradley Perron, Kevin Dunnett.
Like, it's a. This is what I'm saying.
You're a Division 3 quarterback. I'm sure you wouldn't be happy seeing that.
It's a good team.
You know?
Like it's a good defense, and you could put guys. Like they're all guys who understand FPF in a certain way, that they've been playing enough to understand that if you just sit back and cover your zone, you're not going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So they're aggressive players, and most of them are able to keep up with guys like Max Bura on certain patterns that makes it difficult for the quarterback to place the
that
ball
depends,
well.
because if Max Brewer is playing with Zach Styles, who throws the ball on the rope at 11
That's
feet
what
in
I'm
the
saying.
air, and Max Brewer is the only guy who gets there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it depends on the quarterback. But without a quarterback that's able to place it flawlessly, then he's not going to be as successful. So Hurricane season is sort of a team that's going to be able to take away your number 1 and number 2 guy and beat us with your number 3, number 4, number 5. And or we'll
But that's the thing, is they largely are facing teams that have 5 receivers across the board.
Yep.
And Vic in the Box, their strength is actually their defense. And the defense puts Matt Pizzatoro in good position, and then he uses elite talent to beat you in Craig Browning and Daniel Pizzatoro's having a great season, and Max Brewer, whether it's Max Brewer or Jordan McInnes,
pretty much the same.
Exactly. And in this offense, are pretty much the same thing. And so, like, they use their top end talent to beat you, and their defense. The defense was neutralized, and they were able to take away the top couple of weapons. And so, now Vic in the Box doesn't, like, they have the top end talent, but do they have the 3rd and 4th receiver to beat you?
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
Another game that caught my eye
go
this
ahead.
week. Mighty Ducks, D2, the Mighty Ducks,
The
lost.
Demolis
Yes.
Ducks.
So you see how important Mathieu Demont is for this team.
I got a text from Renault, Big Ren.
Yep.
And he said, he's like asking me questions about like finding a sub for quarterback for that day. Like if he's 65 exactly, does he fit the cap? I said technically yes. I mean,
Yeah.
if he hits the cap, he fits the cap. And so
Hit it and fit it.
hit it and fit it. That's what it's all about, really. But like I guess whoever they wanted didn't come through, and so it's tough, man. Replacing quarterback in FPF is with all the constraints we have.
Yeah,
It makes it
it's
difficult.
tough, but at the same time, it also shows how like the team could be good.
Also, Matt Domo shouldn't be in Div 6.
Yeah, like the team's good, but without a proper quarterback, they wouldn't be successful.
Mhm.
Right? Like Dumont enables the players to be better. He makes guys better, and he's a very good quarterback as well. But without him, the team sort of falls apart.
Yeah.
Right? Like if Dumont's there, I'm pretty sure you could.
Well,
fight.
he saved their season
yes.
last season, right?
Yeah.
Like we've seen what happened
Yeah,
when he
but
joined the team.
This score doesn't happen with him there.
No, and the thing is, it takes Martin Jackson or Renault Saint-Laurent away from their positions.
Yeah, and both of these guys. Are
Every
not
snapper
quarterbacks.
on this team, by the way. Every snapper on this team. In 6D,
They took all the snappers. Even Johnny Paradis.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a team full of snappers.
Can you play snapper? Yes. Please
You're
be
right.
on our team.
You're right. In Division 6D, Bud Knights tie Dirty Birds, and right now they're
Come
occupying.
on, Bud Knights, man.
They're occupying the last playoff spot for 6 and 6D.
Bud Knights.
For the Giant Tournament.
Come on, Bud Knights, man.
So what's up with Bud Knights?
Listen. I haven't been around so much.
Mhm.
I think it sort of gets under the skin that I'm not. 20 points is not
They
bad.
don't care about you.
I know they don't. I try to care about Bud Knights.
But like the thing is, they were a good defense, and they added Brad Evans, they added Stephen Harper-Prasad, like they added FPF experience. You figure, okay, now you're in 6D with experience. This is gonna help you. You're gonna be much better, and they're the same,
But the defense,
but maybe even a little worse.
the defense is not bad. Like
Mhm.
it's not okay. It's not the best defense in football.
It was though.
It was though, but it's not anymore.
Still curtain.
But they're not better.
Yeah.
But they're still like they allowed 20 points. It's not bad. Like I would like my defenses to allow 20 points every week.
Yeah.
We will win games.
You'll win most games.
But their offense has been struggling over and over. Like their offense doesn't produce 30 points a game, which puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Which once it cracks, and they're one of those teams that sort of, if everything goes well, everything's fine. But once a little problem here creates a bigger problem there, and then it just unravels from there.
Strangest thing about this tie is it was the same score at halftime.
So no one scored in the second half.
No score in the second half.
Come on, Bud Knights.
No killer instinct whatsoever.
Well, or Bud Knights defense though.
Anything else? Did you catch into 16?
Bud Knights defense though.
Mm-hmm.
DGC finally wins a game.
Yeah. Well, they're 3-3.
Yeah, but they won. They lost like the last 3 games.
Last 2, I believe.
Anyway, it's been on a losing streak. And we spoke about DGC earlier in the season, saying how like we expect DGC to be the best team in Division 60, the one team that moves up into 6 or finishes the first seed in Division 60, and then they go on a losing streak, making us all look stupid.
Yeah.
And
so
then now,
you, DGC.
Now, cool, you won a game 18-6, but also 18-6 though.
What does DGC stand for? Them gargantuan clocks. See how I changed the clocks last second?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
What do you got for DGC? Eagle, I'm coming to you next. Dude, just say 3 words.
I know, it's like dangerous game something, but then this something doesn't really work here because we can't
cops.
Say it. Yes.
Dangerous game, cops. Eagle?
Don't get close.
Don't get close. And they didn't really allow Lake City to get close in this game.
Well, 6 points.
It's an origin from Toronto. So it's an acronym originating from the streets of Toronto, warning others that you are willing to scrap.
Oh, yeah, because that's what I'm worried about getting into a fight, is the mean streets of Toronto.
Urban Dictionary right here. My man.
So,
Eagle.
But so now
do me a favor.
Yeah.
Sorry. Eagle, do me a favor. You cannot say this on air. But you know, all 3 of us know what bamboozling means, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Urban Dictionary bamboozling, and look at the top 3. You will die.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
I need you, Eagle. You need to read it to us, but need to change it so it's like safe for work.
Bamboozling?
Yeah, bamboozling.
I'm waiting.
Well, we could talk about something else in the meantime.
No.
Because he's going to read it, he's going to laugh, and he's going to turn to the...
So, like, are you surprised Le Casse can only put up 6 points, given the athleticism on the team?
Yes.
It's not even
But
all
no.
that bad.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes funny. No, sometimes sexual, always funny. The second one. The one that matters. This the first one's not bad. It's trickery. It's bamboozling. Anyways, I agree with you that Le Casse... I'm surprised.
Those listening can't see the anger in my eyes.
So the reason why I agree with you is looking at a team like Le Casse, you expect them to be that high flying offense. Either it works or it doesn't. So we'll put up 40 1 week, we'll put up 6 the next one because they took away the ball and we're just fast, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those teams you just expect them to be able to put up a lot of points against teams that aren't new or make mistakes or stuff like that, and are very one dimensional. In this case, I just find that their offense doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like across the board, their defense is good. They have guys that are athletic. They know what they're doing. They're good football players. But at the end of the day, their offense just doesn't put up points.
Eagle, give us the safe for work version. But like really changes. So like, for example, if it's like referring to genitalia, turn it into a teddy bear, make it extra safe for work. Like safe for kindergarten.
So you know how when baby birds are born, the mother goes and gets all the worms and everything and chews it up and then puts it in their beaks so they can eat and everything. Imagine that, but the human version, except things come from different locations and things don't get swallowed.
Oh, so it's not bad. It's so like sometimes you get your worms at different restaurants.
You went to that Chinese place down the street.
Yeah.
And you didn't know. You're like, you got to support local businesses.
Yeah. Look, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't find that bad. So with that said, Division 6D, we're gonna start looking at the playoff standings each week because it's horribly confusing.
Also because it matters.
And it matters. We're getting to that point in the season where the games take on a lot of meaning. So remember that, and I'm gonna toss the Eagle in a second because he's looking at the graphic and I'm not. Remember that 6 teams from Division 6 get relegated and 4 teams get promoted. Is that correct? From 6D.
From 6D.
From 6D, 4 teams get
4
promoted.
teams get promoted.
From 6 teams get relegated.
Relegated, correct.
So which teams get relegated from Div 6?
Well, I do want to just break down how to understand this because that's not on our website in terms of how you get promoted and relegated. It is, but not like a visual aspect. So if you're in Division 6 and you're looking at the overview tab, so go to the playoff standings. Here's the easy way to understand it. If you are one of the top 2 seeds in your conference, so in this case, Warriors, Scranton Stranglers, Dirty Laundry, and Vic in a Box, you are one of the top 4 seeds in Division 6. Straight up. Nice and easy. From that point onwards, you have to order yourselves in the order of 5 to 16 in order to figure out where you are. And that's the part where it gets a little bit tricky. Same thing for 6D.
And the thing to keep in mind is so that the conferences have value and
the bottom 3 of each conference are eliminated. That's
but
already
not only that, it's essentially you need to qualify for the playoffs normally within your conference. So if there's a conference where a team with, let's say, 6 points gets in, and then in the other conference, the team with 8 points doesn't get in. It's like a normal playoff bracket at that point. And then we resort. Yeah. So, like, look, you had 8 points. You have more points than the team with 6 on the other side of the bracket. It doesn't matter. You didn't qualify within your conference. Then you move on into your division. Do you qualify within your division? Yes. And then you're resorted as Eagle described.
Exactly. So if your team's in red, you're currently out of playoffs. Straight up.
Okay. So Eagle, read to us the standings for the Division 6 playoffs, and then we'll do like a quick, what's surprising, and then we'll look at some of the teams that have been left off. So Eagle, give us who is right now. What are if the playoffs were today? What would the Division 6 standings be, and what would the playoff teams be?
So Division 6 in first place, first seed, we have Dirty Laundry, followed by Warriors, Vic in a Box, and Scranton Stranglers. So congratulations on your pseudo first seeds.
For now.
Then 5 to 8. So the next best 4 teams of Division 6. Hot Sauce Sports, D2, the Mighty Ducks, Dog Pound, and Average Joes. Here's where it gets tricky. The top 4 teams of Division 6D occupy the 9 to 12 slots. So you guys got promoted. Congratulations. And keep in mind, you're not going to play the best teams in Division 6. You're going to play the middle teams. So you're actually at an advantage over the teams that you're pushing down in the standings.
Yeah.
So 9 to 12, B-Ballers, MacDo, Los Siete Amigos, and Trailer Park Boys.
So before we go any further, those 4 teams, how do you think they'll fare in the Division 6 playoffs?
Well, first of all, MacDo was the best team in Division 6. But
they would play Dog Pound.
Realistically,
that's actually a good matchup for MacDo.
Yeah. Realistically, I think that MacDo is a very good team in Division 6D. But there's a lot of teams in Division 6 that would make them look bad.
See, the one I'm curious about is Trailer Park Boys. I've been very happy to see the progress. They got a lot better a lot quickly.
Yep.
And Antoine Meunier taking over at quarterback, 20 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's the kind of success I think that translates through divisions.
Yes.
We always talk about touchdown interception rate, and like that's almost 5-1. That's 4-1.
27.
Yeah.
So they're really 3-1.
Oh, yeah, it's 3-1. Sorry,
That's though.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
But I agree. Like
it said 5 sacks. It was just the 4-1.
But yes, I think Trailer Park Boys is one of those teams that's going to be able to compete in Division 6. Los Siete Amigos, I think they could also compete against a lot of teams in Division 6. I just think that the way MacDo plays is very successful in Division 6D, and if they would be the first seed in Division 6D, they could go far in the playoffs, and they could be in the championship game. If they play in Division 6 and have a bad matchup, like they're playing the Dirty Laundry or Hot Sauce Sports or Vic in the Box, they might have a very tough outing because of the experience, and it's sort of a different game than when you're playing the Division 6D guys.
Yeah. So what about a team like B-Ballers that we thought was too strong for Division 6 in general, and right now boast a plus-minus of plus 137?
They would play Average Joes.
B-Ballers is one of those teams that there's only a handful of teams I believe could beat them in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Even in the higher Division 6.
Yeah, all across Division 6. So if
does it hurt them though that they haven't faced like equitable competition?
A little bit, because they could get frazzled a little. Like if you start off with like one bad play and then you're down 14-0, they get frazzled quickly against a better team, and then they're gonna have the whole discussion within themselves during the game of this is unfair. We shouldn't be in this division. We should be in 60. We'll be rolling through these teams in Division 60.
Stop crying.
Yes. So just play your game. You're gonna be fine. I think B-Balls is a very strong team, but they wouldn't beat wouldn't beat a favorite in every single game. And by moving up in Division 6, it's gonna make for an interesting playoffs for them.
Eagle, remaining teams in Div 6.
13 to 16. So these are the guys that have actually been bumped down, if you think about it, but still stay in Division 6. We have Vultures, Unknown Talent, Green Monster, and NWO. So you guys are playing the top seeds.
Yeah. And when we started the season, just like think of some of the teams he just mentioned.
Yeah,
like Green Monster had a great last season, right?
Yep.
Where their offense wasn't good, but the defense was shut down.
Preseason Green Monster was one of the favorites to finish amongst, let's say, top 6.
Unknown Talent, consider the same thing. Who else was there? NWO.
Vultures.
Okay, NWO is always a tough team.
Vultures
right now have not beaten a team with more than one win.
Which is shocking.
Yeah.
Right? So, and they even lost this week.
That's what I'm saying. They keep playing. Now they're playing better competition. They're losing games.
So, yes. So, I think that Vultures is still a tough outing.
Yes.
As like the bottom seed.
Like I'm playing them in the season. I'm not looking forward to that game.
So if you're top seed and you look at it, you're like, okay, NWO, it's a tough game, but there's no freebies in the playoffs. But there's a gap between playing NWO and playing Vultures or Unknown Talent, right? Like to me, it's complete. Green Monster is also
Green Monster is a disaster
at this point. Green Monster is the easiest.
They won 9-7 this week.
It's the game it's the
9 points. You know, I wonder how many
9-7.
I wonder how many times in FPF history 9 points has been scored in the game.
To win.
To win, yeah.
To win.
But in general, it's hard to get 9 points.
Yeah, it's an odd number in FPF. Yeah, Green Monster is one of those teams that if I'm one of the top seeds in Division 6 and I get to play Green Monster week 1, I'm happy. If I get to play Unknown Talent, I am not happy.
Yeah.
So
I kind of feel like it actually serves Unknown Talent better to like come in as a low seed.
But I think they're just gonna have a better end of season because of their forfeits. That they're gonna win a few games and move up a few.
Forfeits?
Yeah, didn't they forfeit 2 games?
No, Unknown Talent lost 3 games.
Oh,
proper.
Interesting.
They keep starting games with 5 guys, which doesn't help. Because the thing is, like, so like even against us, right? Embarrassingly, the first drive, I couldn't figure out what they were doing. They're all over the place. They're fast. There were 5 guys. We went 3-0 on the first drive. By second drive, there were 6 guys. But by that point, like the guy who's just arriving late his head's not in the game. Like you know what I mean? And
it's late.
No one like now you start the game. Okay, you're hyped. You're playing 5. You're all over the field. Now you're 6 guys, but like you're kind of pissed off that your buddy was late. And, you know, like it takes you out of the game. So I feel like that's one of the things that's really affecting them. They've lost 3 games, and I didn't think they were going to lose a single game.
Agreed.
To season.
But see, I think that moving like the rest of the way, they're probably going to finish with a better record than say the first 6 games, and they're going to be bumped up into
the top
8,
Six,
right?
top
Because
8,
you can't be 9 to 12.
Yeah.
So they're going to finish maybe 7th or 8th, and they're going to play the Division
I was
6
talking to
teams.
Alessandro Barazzoni today, and he said, "Well, I guess we'll have to run the table now." So I mean, I love the attitude. I love the way they frame it. You know, so 6D now 6D, and you're going to see very quickly why I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned that this is going to backfire on FPF management.
Why?
Read us the teams at the top of it. So first one. Okay, that makes sense, right?
So these are teams technically 13 to 18 from Division 6 that are getting sent down.
Relegated, correct.
Yeah, exactly. So in the first seed of Division 6D, we have Fat Diablos.
Okay, they fit. That's something
fine.
we can see. Okay.
Yeah.
Pension Plan. 4th and 20.
All right.
Channel 4 News Team. The Pack.
Pack's good for 16.
Yeah, okay, but
And 7th Rounders.
Okay, so
Pension Plan is the one that's worrisome.
So
right?
out of these teams, Pension Plan is not having the season that we've expected them to have.
Yeah.
They're not as strong as they were last winter. So we have that bias of they've been a strong team for a while, and this season they're not as strong. So we expect them. Oh, they're gonna wash everybody, but they're losing games they should be winning.
Imagine Unknown Talent, Vultures, and Pension Plan get bumped
down. That's a different story.
Into 16.
So to me,
because they're close, they're right there.
Out of these teams, I find like the Pack will be a favorite, and they're gonna be helped by the fact that they're a number 1 seed in Division 6D playing weaker teams, but it's also not a huge thing for a Division 6D team to play the Pack. Like, yes, they're a favorite. Yes, they're better than we are. Yes, we're the underdog, but it's not a blowout.
They're not overwhelming.
Channel
Pension
4
Plan
News
would be
team,
absolutely overwhelming.
Channel 4 News team will beat up teams in Division 6D. Like it's out of these 6 teams, that's the one team that I'm worried about that are gonna have blowouts back to back.
For me, it's Pension Plan just because the biggest difference between 6 and 6D is quarterbacking.
Yeah,
and Vince Pizzano will tear up a Division 6D defense.
Or he's gonna have a bad night, like we've seen him have before, and they're gonna put up 19 points.
Perhaps.
Right? Like they haven't been putting up 40.
No, but the competition.
Yes.
So they because again, so we thought they'd be a good team. So they face a tough schedule because of that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing okay. They're doing fine.
They're doing fine, but they're not doing great, and they're not putting up monster numbers because they play a very slow-paced offense
yeah.
that generates the fact that you're going to get 2 to 3 possessions per half. Now, if the other team manages to control the clock well against Pension Plan, and they have 3 possessions and Pension Plan only gets 2 per half, then
Mhm.
you can end up with 2 extra possessions over them. Even if there's one that you don't score on, you win this game 30-24.
Yeah.
Which is a problem for Pension Plan because, yes, you slow down the game, but you're also not controlling the clock properly.
Correct. Eagles, the remaining teams in 16.
So from 7 to 16, potatoes.
Yes. Potatoes, man, this week, 43 points.
It was a good game.
I was blown out. I was like, oh, potatoes, all right, they're gonna scrap it, but they're gonna win this one.
Sorry, not potatoes.
Potatoes.
43-6, man. Gotta give some love to potatoes.
To who?
Potatoes. Les Cassés.
We just talked
Brewers. Yama's Pajamas.
Yes, sir.
Don't get close. Past our prime time. We're real bros of Simi Valley. Fighting Tigers. Gold Rush. And Bud Knights take the
As
last seed.
seed
Bud
in
Knights, bro.
all of the 6 playoffs.
But see, but I find that Bud Knights this season, if they were to be in that middle of the pack, if they were to be like that 7 to 12 seed, they would fare well. As the 16 seed, if they get to play a team like Channel 4 News team, they're gonna get washed.
Yeah.
Right now, they would have to play Fat Diablos.
Give me Bud Knights.
In that
Give me
game,
Bud
I
Knights
agree.
against Fat Diablos. Best defense in football against Fat
people.
Diablos, who throws 17 interceptions per game. It's gonna be a wash. But anyways, we'll get to that further.
So looking in Division 6 now, some of the teams that didn't make it. Okay, Zone 6 ballers have been a disaster on the field and off the field. Goon Squad have struggled. Sharknado though. Now one thing to consider is there in the same subdivision, Hot Sauce Sports has played 7 games. They've only played 5. I remember when I was writing the midseason report, at the time they only played 3 games, and I was like, I don't know what to do. What's weird is like we play them in our week 11 game, which for them is their 7th game, and it's so weird. It's so weird.
Yeah.
One thing I just want to mention before we start talking about these teams is that no one's actually officially eliminated yet. So everyone,
It's getting close
it's
though.
starting to get
Yeah.
close. It's actually not all that
Well,
much.
there's
If
4
you look
games
at
left.
it, in Conference A of Division 6, 7th rounders have 4 points.
So, but
that's
like
2
so
wins
Zone
that you
6,
need.
Zone 6 ballers and Goon Squad need to win every game.
Not necessarily.
They need to win 3 or 4 at least.
Well, that's not bad.
They
Still
can win.
doable.
They can win 2 and get lucky with
No, they
Sharknado and
can't.
7th rounders.
Oh yes, okay, 2, yeah.
Yeah. So it's as long as you win this week,
You're still alive.
not just your life, your hopes are like there's a solid chance you're making the playoffs if you win this week.
It's funny because I told my team this week. I said if we win, we're basically clinched.
Yeah.
'Cause-
10 points, yes.
Yeah, 5 wins, like
Yeah.
you're basically in.
FPF as a general rule in
If you go
FPF,
500, you're in playoff.
if you have 5 wins, you'll make. I remember one team, and I've been doing playoff brackets for a very long time now in FPF. I remember one team that was 5-5 that didn't make the playoffs. It happened.
Yeah.
I remember one. It was like an exception, and because of tiebreakers, they ended up on the outside looking in. And the other conference, the team was 3-7 that made it in, and they were so mad.
Wait, they also made it to finals.
The 5-5 team or the 3-7?
3-7.
No, it wasn't that same season.
Oh, isn't that year?
So Sharknado, they're on the outside looking in with. I had a chance to watch their game this season, this week.
Sharknado. Yeah.
They scored 1 point. It was bad. Sebastien Blanchette had a really rough game. There's gonna be a write up in my article, but Blanchette and his boys on the outside of the game. But again, they have two games in hand as opposed to the most games played in the division. So if we look ahead to their schedule, though,
Yeah, but
what do you think though? Like, I'll read you the games, and I don't think they're necessarily in bad shape, but it's not. They needed to pick up a win earlier because now they have Scran Stranglers.
Okay.
That'll be tough. Zone 6 ballers. So maybe
Should be a win.
Should be a win.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Dust Sports will be tough. Replacements are always a tough game.
Mm-hmm.
And Warriors.
So 2-3.
Yeah.
They could go 2-3.
can.
What's the current record?
They are 2 and
They're 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Sorry.
So if they
2
go
and
2
3 because again they get that extra game.
so if
ahead.
they also go 2-3, they finish 4-6.
Yeah.
And as we just mentioned, 4-6 in Division 6 at the moment, or 60, should get you into the playoffs.
And so like now, but by comparison, they're playing. Let's say 7th rounders is just ahead of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 7th rounders face Dog Pound, Scran Stranglers, Goon Squad, and zone 6 ballers. So
So also like probably 2-2.
That's the issue though. Is 7th rounders have their two softest games are at the end of the schedule.
But so the 7 rounders could go 2-2, finish at 4-6 also.
Yeah.
Right. So essentially we're looking at 4 and 6 is going to make the playoffs.
In Conference B, teams that aren't and this is the ones that actually surprised me. The teams that right now that aren't in the playoffs from Conference B, Hurricanes isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so we knew it was gonna be tough for them, but it's the most talented team that's not in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, they had a tough season, but like we said, season's not over.
No. I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought they had tough road ahead. I still had trouble believing they'd be on the outside looking in at this point.
They won't make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah. Then replacements, who I thought were vast improved, have still struggled to score. They've only scored 95 points in 6 games.
Yeah, their offense continues to struggle.
TBA is a team I thought was going to be very good.
Well, and this week they played really well.
Yes, absolutely. They got their first win of the season against Vultures.
They put up like 40 points too.
47-38. But would you have seen them be at 1 win at this point?
TBA?
Yeah.
No chance. To me, TBA, considering what they did this week, like I'm not expecting them to put up 47 points.
But you know that
regularly.
they can.
But they can. But it's not something that you expect out of a team regularly because that's very, very dominant.
Mm.
But if you would have told me if I was a betting man, I would have said probably 3-3.
Mm.
Right, like just split down the middle. They're gonna lose some games that you're like, why did you lose this game? But they're also gonna blow out teams, which they did this week.
Yeah.
So that's the way I see their season going out, and it's not the case. Right?
Yeah,
They lost way too many games they shouldn't have, and now they're in a tough spot. Last week we would have talked about it and say, they're pretty much done.
Mm.
They got this big win over Vultures. There's a chance they'll be able to bounce back if they're able to win the next one too and be 2-4. It's a very possible, like it's a potentially good scenario for you to make the playoffs.
Dirty Birds are on the outside looking in Division 6D.
Mm-hmm.
Mo hates Ryan Eichler.
Mo hates a lot of people.
Yeah, he's just a hateful person.
Yeah, he's just a hater.
But so they're 2-3-1. Ahead of them are Bud Knights past their prime time, Real Bros of Simi Valley. Do you think they can climb back in?
It's tough, man. It's a very tough schedule to finish with. It's 3 teams that are currently in the playoffs, that are good teams that are difficult to play against because of their defense.
And Real Bros have already beat them. Past their prime time have already beat them. So they're also behind the 8 ball with some of the tiebreakers.
Yeah, so the tiebreakers are not in your favor. You have a tough matchup coming in.
And they face Brewers, Los Siete Amigos, Fighting Tigers, Potatoes.
And the tie doesn't help them.
Who?
Potatoes.
So essentially like some of the best teams in the division.
Yeah. So it's a rough road ahead.
Yeah, it's tough.
BDR, that's been a remedial offense. It's
one of those teams.
52 points in 6 games.
It's one of those teams that they're learning against teams that are not learning. Like you're playing teams that are out of caliber. Sadly, this is a sort of team that will require a training season.
You know what's crazy is BDR. We didn't have their full roster before the season. They would have been a Division 6 team.
With their full roster?
Yeah,
it's insane.
Because they qualify for the criteria for a Division 6
But if you actually look at BDR, realistically, it's one of those teams that if we could have a division practice, like a pool of 6 teams that just practice for 10 weeks against each other, they play each other twice, and they would benefit from that more.
So the 2 quarterbacks combined, it's Jordan Ferre and Vince Romano. Vince Romano being the quarterback most games, have combined for 7 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, 17 interceptions, and 14 sacks.
That's not a good ratio.
Yeah, and Jordan Ferre is wasted at quarterback because the dude's a legit receiver.
The number of sacks doesn't really worry me that much. Like 2 a game, it's bad, but you could get away with it.
Well, but yes and no. You can get away with it if you're a quarterback and and it's on first down. Okay, so now you have like 3 downs to get 15 yards. Who cares? But for an inexperienced quarterback to take a sack and be down 6 yards,
like sacks are very variable. Like an interception is an interception, unless it's like on the 4th down.
An interception is in fact an interception.
But a sack, the difference is if you're running towards the line of scrimmage and you get sacked half a yard behind the line of scrimmage on what was technically a run, it counts as a sack, but you lost half a yard.
It sucks
Or-
this week. I gained 1 yard on a run.
Yes, I saw that.
And I was trying to get sacked. I didn't want it.
Yeah.
I wanted to get sacked for
So-
0 yards.
So there's that, right? There's a tackle-ish sack, or there's the I lost 15 yards on the play,
Yeah.
and now we're at 3rd and 20 instead of 3rd and 5.
I like to call it the Jared Goff Super Bowl sack.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
South Shore Seamen don't have a win yet. They've scored 33 points and has allowed 161. I think it's a good first season. They got to learn. Honestly, Eagle and I should try and make a trip out to see them.
You
Give them a
did?
hand. No, I couldn't because I had a game right after. So I watched the first half. I'm going to have to meet them another time. We did meet the Lionhearts.
Lionhearts, man, 24 points this
So
week.
look, before we went, like the two other teams that feel ashamed to reach out for help.
Don't be.
Lionhearts had scored 12 points all season. We gave them this much help, like little bit of help. Like, hey, these are things that typically work in FPF. They're easy to read.
Or here's what you're doing. Here's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Or very little things you can adjust, like don't show your defense pre-snap.
They still were. You got to talk to them next because I
Mhm.
did the offense. But just to say, when you score 12 points all season, and then the next week you score 24 points, even though they lost, the guys were in a
It's
better
encouraging.
mood. They were.
Of course.
They're happy. I love. There's a guy on the team. His name is Jan Antoine. Was his family name. For some reason, on scorekeeping app, and I refuse to change it because it's amazing. His name's Jan Kranz.
Why?
From Jan Antuono to Jan Kranz, which
Jan-
is the greatest
I
name
can't even.
ever.
All right, he is now the next brand of robot being manufactured by Skynet. Yanocrons 4000.
So, yeah, but I mean, for a team like Lionheart, they've been struggling offensively the whole way. It's encouraging to be able to put up points.
Now that said, they face Chocolate Barracudas, who have
Also
struggled.
a team that struggled, but had a close game this week. They lost by
Correct.
6 points,
Correct.
26-20. Sorry. Against Gold Rush, who is not a bad team. Like, Gold Rush is your
Well, that's the next two teams they play. They play Chocolate Barracudas and Gold Rush. Then they play Bud Knights and Lake Assay. We're not super explosive offenses, so like
And right now,
there's a
Gold
chance
Rush,
they can win 2 of these games.
Gold Rush is currently occupying that 7th feed in Conference B, and Chakra Barracudas is in the bottom tier. So if they get those 2 wins, they're actually potentially competing for that last spot.
And Chocolate Barracudas, as Eagle mentioned, 1-5.
they've been struggling also.
Yeah, they're struggling.
But you see a difference. Like, this is one of the teams that you see a difference between week 1 and now.
Mhm.
These guys are improving. They are much better than where they were. It's just, if you would have started at this point in the season, if this was week 1 and you guys start at where you guys are now, they would have a much better record at the end of the day.
And just to their credit, it sucks they had to play DGC, Trailer Park Boys, McDo, Llamas Pajamas.
So basically, they played everybody in Division 60 that are like at the top, right?
Yeah.
But that's also how you learn.
Of course, that's how you improve. Rosedale Renovations on the outside looking in. They're 2-4 at the moment. So they're right behind. They're literally 2 points behind the playoff spot at this point.
But they're a good team. There's a solid chance that they're gonna be able to split the last few games.
So they play South Shore Seamen, so who are struggling mightily. They play McDo with that stuff. They play Llamas Pajamas, tough game. And Fighting Tigers, who, look, they're not gifted athletically. And Seth Galena is not a true quarterback. He's a guy who's learning. But the knowledge of Seth Galena...
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Seth Galena is a very good football coach, by the way.
Yes.
And he's a good FPF mind.
Yes.
And Emilio Pampena, who doesn't look the role, is
Very
a
good
very good receiver.
Very good receiver.
I played with him. He played on Checkmate, one of my old teams.
He won like 2 championships in Division 2 as a
Yeah.
receiver.
He played on Checkmate, one of my old teams. And he came to practice with us once outside, and he was wearing jeans. In my mind, he's always wearing jeans when he plays, even though it's not possible. He's always wearing
Not
jeans.
allowed.
So Rosedale Renovations, do you think that getting that 1 win potentially against South Shore Seaman will be enough?
I find that they'll need to get 2 wins. They're gonna get that 1 win. They're gonna move up to 3-4. With the last 3 games, if you want to make the playoffs, you're gonna need to get a 4th win. I find that this season, if you want to be considered like a contender to make the playoffs in Division 60, you need to reach 4 wins. At 3-7, there's a solid chance that a 3-7 team does not make playoffs, ends up on the outside looking in. Don't put yourself in that position. Reach to 4, and then if you don't make it at 4-6, it's still a decent season.
And the thing with Rosedale Renovations is if they win this game, they'll still be behind in a tiebreaker with Gold Rush. So
Yeah.
they kind of have to win 2 games.
No, they need to win 2 games. Minimum.
Keep in mind, Gold Rush is also tied with Fighting Tiger, DGC, and Yama's Pajamas right now. 4 to 7 are all tied with 6 points. So it's possible in a 3-way tie they actually beat.
But they also have
in
the
some.
worst. They have the worst divisional record, and if they beat
Well,
South
if they win, they
but
end
if
up being
they-
3 and 4.
but if they
anyway.
beat South Shore Seaman, it's not a divisional win, so it doesn't
Yeah,
help them
that's true.
tiebreakers.
Mm.
That's the problem. See how I thought on my feet there? And you said I look tired just at the show. I'm exhausted.
Todd on your.
I'm so tired.
Is that really saying Todd on your feet?
I didn't say
That's what you said.
What?
See how I Todd on my feet?
thought on my feet. Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Sounds like the dumbest thing.
Look up an Urban Dictionary.
It's a real
Yes.
thing.
No, look it up an Urban
Oh
Dictionary.
yeah, we want to know what it says.
Also, Eagle, what time is it?
I'm searching now.
Games of the week.
No, wait, you gotta do it again. Wait.
I'm
I'll-
waiting.
I did it on purpose.
Games of the week.
Yo, I'm excited for the reboot of Twilight Zone with
I'm not.
Jordan Peele. I love the original Twilight Zone.
So,
Yeah, you're old,
Urban
bro.
Dictionary
I
essay
just saw them
actually
as
has
reruns.
think on feet because past tense. Thinking on your feet refers to being able to remain cool and confident under pressure.
Next one.
Yeah, that's too easy. You never read the first one.
The first one's always the right one, so it's not good.
That's literally
Well,
all there is.
right one.
Okay,
That's the only one.
Wow, I'm super disappointed right now.
make it more safe for work.
More safe for work?
Yeah.
Thinking on your feet is cool.
No.
All right. Eagle, what time is it?
I just did it.
Yeah, we did
Do
it.
it.
Games of the week.
Thank you.
This is gonna get old eventually.
It already did.
So I'm not picking the games because Mark Anthony's article. So I will just give a quick introduction to the game.
Channel 4 news team versus Vic in a Box.
Channel 4 News team has struggled, but we know how much talent they have on the team. Vic in a box, coming off a loss, they're going to want to right the ship. Your pick, Simon.
Pick in a box.
Eagle.
Aha!
Fucked you there.
I'm gonna make a pick.
Wow.
I'm just picking another game.
I'm
Wow.
tired, man.
Wow,
Hurricane,
language, bro.
Family show.
Hurricane season versus TBA.
No, what would you pick?
I don't care.
Okay. I
Wow.
think that's worse.
Sorry, our viewers.
Who is this, sorry?
Hurricane season versus TBA.
Just coming off their first big win against Vultures, they now face the other half of Vultures, which is Hurricane Season.
Give me Hurricane season, man. I have a feeling they have to turn it around at some point, and I still can't believe Hurricane season will
I
not
had
be in the playoffs.
I had this game marked as a win for Hurricane Season when I did my mid-season report.
Okay.
But now when I saw TVA put 47 points up, I don't know.
No,
Read Mark Andre's article, find out.
if Hurricane season wants to be a playoff team,
This is the
season,
win they need.
This is where it needs to start.
All right, we have Zone 6 Ballers versus NWO.
NWO has been a strong middle pack team. Zone 6 Ballers have been the bottom team.
Give me NWO and a 3-score win.
And we have Fat Diablos versus 4th and 20.
4th and 20 at one of these tough, grinded out teams, like we keep saying. They really surprised 7th rounders this week. For a write-up, read my article this week. Fat Diablos are fat.
They
are Diablos.
unless Alex Anguertin plays quarterback for them, they will throw 4 interceptions and lose by 2 scores.
Okay. We have Potatoes versus Gold Rush in 6D.
Yo,
So-
give me potatoes, man.
Potatoes, one of the stronger teams in the division. Gold Rush hanging on to one of the bottom seeds.
Yeah, this is one of those games that are gonna go heavily in potatoes' favor and help everybody on the outside looking in that needs to,
You
know.
really don't want Gold Rush
overstep
to make
Gold
the
Rush.
playoffs.
No,
Alright.
I'm just saying potatoes, bro.
Lionhearts versus Chocolate Barracudas.
Great game.
So, have Lionhearts learned enough, or if Chocolate Barracudas, they're a little bit of experience, will that be enough?
I think Chocolate Barracudas have improved more than what Lionhearts have. Both teams are gonna put up enough points to be satisfied with themselves offensively and defensively, but I have the Barracudas coming out on top of this win.
And Rosedale Renovations versus South Shore Seamen.
South Shore Seamen have not evolved from their initial Seaman-like state, and I mean, look, man, it's just saying they haven't evolved as football players. And Rosedale renovations, they've looked good in some games, and then other games, they look like they need renovations.
Also, it's semen.
Yeah,
They can't evolve.
I mean, we all did.
They are no. They are.
Well,
They are the evolution. They
What?
could just travel through water.
Just
They
pick
are-
a team.
I don't think he understands what evolution means. I think he thinks evolution
I'm just
is
waiting
swimming.
for him to bring out like the conspiracy theory, like aliens or something.
No, we talked about this game. This is where Rosedale renovations get it going.
All right,
See what it did there.
That's it.
that's it.
See what it did there.
I did. Final thoughts, Simon.
I said it earlier.
What is it? You forgot. Tense.
For those of you who are interested, you can now access the playoff schedule by going to the schedule area of the website and clicking onto the playoffs tab. So you have regular season and playoffs. We don't know which teams are going to play in which slots yet, but we know when the games are. So you can block off those days if you're about to be playoff eligible. So don't go on vacation. Don't go out on your girlfriend. Don't visit your family.
Out on your girlfriend.
Don't go out with your girlfriend.
So vacation's okay, but
I'm
girlfriend,
thinking on
sorry,
my
bro.
feet, okay?
Not well.
Taut on the feet.
That said, Eagle, thank you for the work you've done. Division 6, you've been a great audience.
Yes,
Simone,
sir,
you've been less than adequate. But most of all,
You're the one
thank
who's
you all
there.
for letting me be myself. I was being myself.
True, it's fair.
I mean, that is his himself.
He does that every time.
Swear.
Yes.